Hello, my name is Ilona and this is my second video for children, and I'd like to talk about the control that the dark energies have, how far this control, let's just say how far they've infiltrated or how far they've been working their way in our lives, because they pretty much control every aspect of our life. That's very strange to think, but everything you think, you say, you see around you, most of it's put out there by the dark energies. And I want to talk about that and also what their plan really is with us, what they really want to do. So you really have to understand that the dark energies really made sure that they could control us. They need our energy to create. They cannot create themselves. They lost that ability. So they need us to give them the energy. And they did that by, how do you say this, controlling our way of thinking, what we see, what we do, and that way we follow their agenda. So what they want us to do, what they have in mind, they make sure that we think that way. So they've created so many systems, like the systems we are in with our governments, on all kinds of level, even the city you live in. They made sure that there are people, I call them puppets, who are on very important positions. So leaders of lands, they made sure that most of the leaders are part of their club, or at least someone they can control. They can tell what this person's supposed to be doing, and they will follow along. Or they can give them a lot of money, or they just say something's going to happen to your family if you don't do what we say you should do. There are many things and many methods they could use, but usually they put puppets there that are part of the dark energies. And they put them everywhere. It doesn't mean that everyone that works in government is a puppet, because let's just say the large amount of people are not. But they made sure that in very important positions, the puppets are there. And they've created this system we are in, these financial systems with money. They made sure that we are dependent, of course, we're dependent of certain organizations, banks. We work, of course, they've created this entire system, so we're dependent on where our money comes from. A working place. They have a lot of people in companies on very high positions. So ultimately, they pretty much control everything, in our lives. If you just think about that, the news, the media, what you see on television, the stories you see on social media. I'm not allowed to say everything because, well, then I'm not going to get this video out. If it's information that goes against what they want to be out there, so they have a certain line they want to follow, there's a certain way they actually working towards, and I'm going to mention later on what their real plan is. But they're working towards something, so if someone says something that goes against that, they make sure that it will disappear, maybe ultimately the person disappear. It's really sad. They have a very so much control over what we think, especially our education system. They control what's in the books. They control what's being what you learn. You know, when you go to school, you get books. They make sure that what's in the books fits what they want you to know, what they want you to think. So they have this idea that you have to feel like you're not in control. Life is very tough. It's rough. Sometimes you have luck, but sometimes bad luck. That you are, how do you say this, completely dependent on what's happening around you. They want you to feel that way because that's easier to control and easier to manipulate. And that's what they want. They want full control. So they have puppets on government level. They have puppets in the justice system. So some lawyers, judges, that if, something happens with someone and they get caught, they're working for the dark energies, and some of these people do horrible things. Well, they get caught, then they make sure, maybe in the police systems, they have certain puppets there that certain evidence just disappears, or a judge will not say, make sure that this person will just get away with things, or a very low punishment. It's just massive if you think about it. They do have put their puppets everywhere. They've been working on this for a very, very long time. So they're pretty much everywhere on a very low level, like even your city council, to a very high level. Like I said, not everyone works for them. Most of the people do not even know that they're following a certain agenda. They think that they're doing the right thing. The government tells teachers, you should use these books, you should teach people this because that's important. They are brought up in a certain way of thinking, so they think that this is correct. So they're just following along. They're following the guidelines and they think that they're doing the right thing. So we're talking about the police system as well. There are people in the police system that work for the puppets as well, or if they want to make sure something disappears, some evidence disappears, they will see if they can give someone money or maybe other methods. They know how to get things done, so to speak. I was talking about companies, even the science. So people that investigate or just come up with new things they've invented. If it doesn't follow along with the dark energies, those people will not get any money. They will not get any job. They'll be out of a job. And in a worst case, if someone speaks up or says something that doesn't follow their line, they can even disappear, or they can even, people will be warning them, something's going to happen to your family. So a lot of voices that do not, are kind of against what they want. They make sure that they silence them. So we don't hear them, we don't see them. And I'm sure that you feel something's wrong. I'm sure if you go to school, you can feel that what you're learning or what you're reading doesn't really feel right. There are a lot of us now waking up and sensing something's wrong. I've had that feeling as well growing up. Like, what I was learning, I was like, this doesn't feel right. What am I doing here? And it's very important that it's part of the Great Awakening. Now, let's see if I've got everything I wanted to mention about how they control. And of course, the medical system as well. The entire medical system is pretty much just to keep us sick and not really help us. Usually, if you do have something, they will just give you a pill and you have no idea what's in the pill. The dark energies also been doing something with our air in the sky. They've created all kinds of stripes with things in it. They've made sure in our water there are things in it. Our food is very important as well. I'm sure that maybe you've gone to McDonald's or something like that you've eaten something, and most of the time you have no idea what you're really eating. And a lot of the food in the supermarket is really just a creation from a scientist and really has nothing to do with food. In that way, they can control that we stay on a very low level, a low energy level, so they'll be able to control us better. They want to keep us as weak as possible. If we really are as strong as we are, they don't have any control over us. So they're trying to keep us as weak as possible. These things are all happening. That's the control of the dark energies. And of course, we have the white hats are reversing that control. That's very important to understand. They've already been taking care of a lot of stripes in the sky. I cannot even mention the real word because then I will not get this video on YouTube. But they reversed it. They are changing it. Instead of spraying something that's bad for us, they're spraying something that is good for us, that helps us. They are also taking over certain media, certain news items that they send out. It's really to wake up people and to show people what's been going on for so long, to wake them up. I've also mentioned in my Dutch video, and I want to mention it in this one as well, about the 17th letter of the alphabet. The white hats are using the same tricks the dark energies have been using. So they created the 17th letter of the alphabet, and the 17th letter of the alphabet on a certain internet forum. They started posting all kinds of cryptical messages. So messages that people were like, what is this about? So they started investigating what was in the message. And that really helped waking up people. So people started connecting all these things. There were things in it about leaders of countries and that they're all connected to the same organization and the agenda of that organization. And it's very important that they are now using the 17th letter of the alphabet to open up people's minds. And it's more and more open. I do believe that the dark energies are losing their grip. You can see the panic almost in them, and they're trying to regain control again. But you can see that the white hats are really starting to become more open. And it's very important to show people what is going on. Otherwise, maybe you've had things that you said to someone or even an adult and they just didn't believe you, and then they felt it themselves and then they understood what is going on. And that's actually what's happening now. People need to see it. So there's a lot going on, but I just want to mention on all these levels that they have control. That's why it takes so long and it's such a gigantic war. And there are even other levels as well I'm not going to mention now. But I want to talk about what their real plan is. What the dark energies really want with us. And that is take full control of us. That's what they want. They want us to, connect us to technology. So we will become robots, so to speak. And they call it transhumanism. And that means that the human part will be together with technological parts, like robot parts, like almost AI, artificial intelligence. So they've been, spraying things so it gets in our body. And the last 2 years, they've been trying to get this sting in people. I can even mention what the true word of that, because otherwise I won't get the video out. To get things in the bodies of people so they can start controlling them, how they think from the inside. I'm sure you've noticed more and more technology is coming out and they want us to become dependent on technology. Maybe you have a mobile, and let's face it, a lot of people, a lot of children cannot live without their mobile anymore. They have to look at it day and night pretty much. That's what they want. They want us to really look at the technology, or watch the TV, or watch the social media. They want us hooked on the technology, and then later on they will come up with a chip. Like, you don't need a mobile anymore. You can get a chip in your head, and then you can really connect to the internet and to other things from that chip. You won't need anything outside of yourself anymore. And there'll be a lot of people that be like, yeah, great, sign me up. That sounds perfect. I won't have to swipe anymore. I don't have to, I cannot lose my mobile anymore, or things like that. People do not understand is by doing that, by putting technology inside your body, they will gain control over how you think, what you feel. You won't really be you anymore. And that's exactly what they want. They want to use our energy, but they don't want this, that we are our own persons. They really want to connect us all together and control us that way. So we think that we are living with the thoughts that come in. We think they are our own, but they're not. They're the one controlling it. They are controlling our bodies. It's very sad, but that's what they want. They want full control, and they've done that to other species as well. I believe the Greys are AI part robot. They are not very biological anymore. That's what they want. They want to control us in that way. That's why they have all this technology. And there's nothing wrong with technology. It's how you use it. There are so many technologies like free energy, med beds, medical beds that can actually help you and support you. So the technology, just like with In general, money, there's nothing really wrong with money. It's what you do with it. If you try, if you use money to control people, to tell them what they should do, and otherwise they're not going to get any money, yes, then you're doing it. It's very negative. But if money itself is just something you can use, or you can, buy something, food, things like that, there is essentially nothing wrong with money itself. Just like there's nothing wrong with technology, it's how people use it, in what way. So they are really trying to get us to accept more and more technology, because they want us to turn us into these robot AI, a mix of human and technology, so they can fully control us in every way. That's what they really want. So I think I've mentioned everything that I wanted to talk about. Like I've mentioned before, they control also parts of the military. They had the control over that. They put puppets in very high positions. The white hats are making sure that they're doing the same thing. They are now placing people working for the white hats on very important positions in the military, in the justice system, in governments around the world. They are doing the same techniques, by using it for, trying to regain our power back. That's what really this is about. This is about our soul, our energy, and that we can use it to create something beautiful, something wonderful, instead of what they want to create, which is, to me, sounds like a horrible world. If they are in full control of us and they control what we do and what we want, we'll be in like some sterile world. I don't think there's going to be a lot of laughter, a lot of joy, because they pretty much taking that away from us. We will just be following their rules. We'll be nothing more than robots, which is really shocking that it got, well, at least they already got quite far. They're not going to make it that far. The white hats are really trying to wake us up, but it's up to us to really truly change. We are very, very powerful spiritual beings. We have this energy that is so powerful, and it's up to us to start using it for a better world, for a beautiful world, for a world that is connected. So that's very important. I wanted to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.